Hello, everyone, and welcome back to South Park Elementary Center in the 2020-2021 school year. Certainly, last year ended with some real interesting situations, and we're still dealing with a lot of those same things that we dealt with at the end of last year. But because we had time, we have a much better plan, and we're very much looking forward to having a wonderful year together. This orientation is for everyone, but also if you're an incoming kindergartner, you should probably pay particular attention to some of the extra details. But this will certainly be a video that'll be useful for everyone, both in the hybrid and the virtual model. So as we know, every student did have an option to choose either the hybrid model or a cyber model. Students that are in the hybrid model will have 2 days of face-to-face instruction, and then they'll also have some virtual instruction times on those opposite days. If you're in the cyber model, you'll be having instruction throughout several of the days, all 4 days, and then some extra things also on a Friday. You can enter that cyber model at any time. So if you're in the hybrid model and there's either health concerns or you get concerned about the situation, you can always move back and forth. You can always move back into the cyber model. However, once you're in the cyber model, we do want you to try to stay for the first semester. Just for logistical sake, that will be better for the students as well. Regardless of choice, the curriculum will be the same. We're trying to keep every homeroom, including the cyber room, on the same pace, so that if they are going, like say a quarantine situation, they end up in the cyber academy for 2 weeks, they'll be on the same pace, and so forth and so on if they need to come back out of that cyber academy as well. All of these classes are going to be taught using our curriculum and with our teachers. That's certainly a benefit. As you all know, I consider all my teachers to be amazing educators and rock stars, so I would want them to be teaching our students and using our curriculum. So I find that to be a real benefit. Chromebooks. Now, those students that are going into cyber program, you're going to need your Chromebooks, before that first day of school. So we're going to have Chromebook distribution here at our school on August 31st from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. All the district reopening safety protocols will also be followed, of course, maintaining social distance, keeping your masks on. But we will be doing that here at the elementary center on August 31st from 9 a.m. to noon. The schedule. What is a day going to look like for our students now? They're going to have the same classes that they've always had: math, ELA, science, and social studies. They will not be moving for those classes. The teachers will be coming to them. So instead of them going to their team leader, to the team's room, that teacher will be coming to their room, so the students will have to be in that same room for the whole time. Again, alleviating a lot of hassle when it comes to being in the hallways and socially distanced in those hallways. The specials are going to be run a little bit differently this year. Those of you that have been here before, we have Monday, Tuesday through Friday, and every day they have a different special. Well, we didn't want to do that this year because if you were on a Monday, Wednesday schedule, you wouldn't necessarily ever get your Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday special and things like that. So now we're doing them in 36-day blocks. So the student will have, for example, music for the first 36 days of school. Then their next block, they'll say it's gym. They'll have gym for 36 days of school. And they'll end up getting all 5, and they'll be getting an equal amount of each special. So that will alleviate the possibility of not having a special at all throughout this year. They will have every special, and they'll get a larger chunk of time for that special. Obviously, any of these things are subject to change. If we were able to come back face-to-face and we were able to use the specials areas and things like that, we would make changes as available to us. But right now, that's what a day is going to look like for our students. So parents and students, what are some of your expectations of us? Like, what should you expect when coming to our school? You would expect a caring staff, and I certainly believe we have that. We're going to have a safe school to be a clean and healthy environment. We will provide for you socially, emotionally, intellectually, physically. That's our job, and that's what we plan on continuing to do. We have standards and expectations, and we're going to provide you with those skills that are necessary to be successful in life. That's our job, and that's our passion, and that's what we're going to continue to do. And a school with spirit. And of course, you all know, especially those of you that have been here, we certainly have an enjoyable time here. And there's definitely a lot of South Park Elementary spirit to be had with all of our students and staff. What we need you to do for us, we need you to consider this lifelong learning. Give yourself those opportunities to learn. Join in, become involved in our school system in any way and every way you can. We expect you to be respectful and have good manners at all times, just like you would do at home or anywhere in public. We need you to follow our rules, make good choices. We have high expectations for you, and we expect you to have the same in everything that you do. We need you to be a good role model. I tell my fourth grade students this all the time. Those young kindergartners, they're watching you. You are their model. So you've got to show them what it's like to be a South Park Elementary student. I know you can do that. So we all need to be models for each other throughout the days. And then look beyond South Park. Check out those opportunities that await you in the future. This is your time to shine, students, and we want you to take that opportunity. So we have some new procedures, obviously, throughout this pandemic that we've been dealing with. Here are some procedures we'd like you to consider and work with us on these. We need you to check your child's temperature, assess their symptoms in the morning before bringing them to school. There are guidelines that have come out. If they haven't yet, they will, in terms of the symptoms. Upon arriving, we will be doing temperature screenings of all the students. If they show a temperature, we will actually rescreen them again with the nurse. And if there's an issue, obviously we'll contact you, and you'd have to pick up the child. Parents and non-essential visitors, we're not going to be having visitations this year until hopefully we have some progress with this situation. So PTO is going to be very limited. They're not going to be able to come into the building and things like that. Procedures regarding student drop-off and pickup, we're going to go through them briefly in this orientation, but we'll also send you some more detailed things on the school's webpage as well. All students and staff will be wearing masks and or face shields at all times unless they're eating or if we have those scheduled mask breaks. Lockers are not going to be utilized for the upper grades this year. We expect the students to have their book bags. Another great option is to have a fanny pack that you can put in your hand sanitizers, masks, things like that, and you can keep that on you at all times as well. Students can carry a refillable water bottle. They are going to be socially distanced to the fully extent possible, and even during lunch, we're going to have them spaced out. Students you'll need to have your Chromebooks on you at all times, unless the staff tells you otherwise. We may let the students take their textbooks home to alleviate the weight. That'll be done by a teacher-by-teacher basis. Some teachers may need the textbooks to stay in the room for use, while others may be able to let them leave them at home. Students will not be moving between classes, as we discussed. And then we're going to have a little different bus procedures this year. We're going to be dismissing by bus number instead of phases. So please help your students remember their bus number, practice that, and that'll be a benefit to everybody going forward. Students are expected to socially distance at all times, or not to share any supplies or any other items with their peers. There are supply lists, and they are online on our website. For those of you that don't know the website, it is SPARK, SPARKSD.org. When moving through the halls, students will have to follow the arrows. We have arrows as visual reminders on all of our hallways now. We'd like the students to use those, obviously. Students can use the restroom still during class time. They would typically sign out of the room. However, we have created restroom breaks for entire classes, again, to try to alleviate more than one group in the bathroom at the same time. So we're hoping to keep the individual restroom uses to a minimum for their safety, of course. Again, students are required to wear a face mask at all times based on our new state rules that just came out a few days ago. We will have multiple mask breaks. They can only be a maximum of 10 minutes, but we'll probably be doing multiple ones of those throughout the day. And obviously during lunch, they'll be able to remove them as well. Bus and car procedures. We're going to be using two different entrances this year, again, for the temperature screeners. Third and fourth grade, you'll be entering through the main door, which is door number 1. Second, first, kindergarten, and students that are eating breakfast, you'll be using the entrance door number 2. At the beginning of the year, parents, we do have the K1 and 2 students line up in the gymnasium. We will keep them socially distant, but that helps us so we can have the teachers walk them down to their classrooms. So once they get used to knowing where their classrooms are, they'll be able to go through the screener and go right to their rooms. But for the first several days, we will help the students find their room, and they'll go down as a class. Buses, as normal, when the buses get here, we'll empty them out. We'll have them screened. We'll have adults throughout the hallway to help kids find their classrooms. Car riders a little bit different. When you get here in the mornings, you'll leave them off as normal, but things will be spaced out in terms of social distance, so the kids aren't all coming out of their cars at the same time and things like that. After school pickup, car riders, we will have designated locations on the sidewalk for parents to stand. Again, keeping everything socially distant, but we will continue to use that F-wing door. So when you get here, you'll be able to let them know that you're waiting for your child. And when they get called, they'll come through that door and they'll hopefully see you. You can call out to them, but please remain on those spots so that everybody can maintain a safe social distance. Here's some other suggestions that we've heard from other parents and from our teachers to help you sort of get your students prepared for school. This is probably most important for maybe kindergarten as well. All items brought from home, make sure they're labeled with your child's full name and their grade level. And that would include things like jackets or boots if they take them off, things like that. A child's full name in there. We never know how they end up in some of the crazy places that they do in this school, but if their full name's on there, we'll be able to get them back to you. Please review with your student their student ID number that's used for lunch, their bus number, and their homeroom number. If you can have those three things, have your child have them memorized prior to coming to school that first day, it makes everything so much smoother and so much easier for the child, which then decreases their anxiety and their stress and their nervousness for coming into school. So work on those three, and that would be highly beneficial. Your homeroom numbers will be coming to you shortly, probably through a digital medium, but stay tuned for more information on that. When packing lunch, those of you that are packers, you want to put containers in for the students that are easy for them to open. Not only do we have several students in the cafeteria at one time, but they're going to be spaced out all the way into the gymnasium. So to get from one area to the other is going to take a lot more time. And we want the students to have as much time as possible to be able to eat, obviously. So put things in containers that are easy for the children to open. If they have bags, it's hard to peel open, heck, or even hard for me sometimes. You may want to open them at home and put them in some sort of container so this child can get them open easier. You might want to start working on a routine for waking up now. You have a couple weeks, start to get them used to waking up early so that first couple days of school, they're not miserable and fighting you to want to get up and come to school. One thing that I do at home, we've all done at home, is the X marks the spot. That's a great routine to get into for your house. When the child brings their book bag home, it goes right on the designated location. When you're prepared to look through it, you know where it is. You pack it up, you put it back there. When the child has homework, they take it with them, they do it, they put it back there at the end of the day. It helps for that morning routine whenever you're getting up and maybe you're a little rushed. It's important for them to know where their stuff is. In the evening, they've already gathered it all. It's all in there. You've already checked it. The morning routine becomes simple. You grab the bag and you go. So those are some important suggestions and ideas for you to consider between now and the start of school. So we're going to also have, for kindergarten, we're going to have a mini open house just for the new incoming kindergarten students. Based on your last name, you could see the times here, A through C, 1 to 125, so forth and so on. You'll be coming through door number 1. I'm sure I'll be out there. There may be a couple other people out there. We'll help you get to the kindergarten area. We will have one example of a room that's open. You'll be able to walk through the kindergarten pod, and then you'll exit through the blue doors. Not all the rooms are prepared yet, so we'll have one model room open so they could see what one looks like. But you'll be able to at least show them the other rooms and sort of give them an idea of where the location is. But again, we have so many adults here in the mornings and so forth, and the students really don't ever walk anywhere themselves for the most part, so they're always under adult supervision. So let's hope we have a great year. I'm sure we will. And 2020, 2021 will definitely be marked in history as a crazy year for public education, but it's been a wonderful ride. We've learned a lot about ourselves. We've learned a lot about public education. We've learned a lot about virtual schooling. We've learned a lot about technology. And those are all good, positive things that we could take away from this experience. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions, you can always contact me. My name is Rob Furman, and my email is rob.furman at sparksd.org, which is the same as the website, sparksd.org. Or you could always call the school anytime, and I'll be more than happy to help you out with anything that I can. Thank you all for listening, and let's get ready for a wonderful 2020-2021 school year here at South Park Elementary Center. Thank you.